Hi, Scott Lackman from 4510 TV. Today's program we're talking about Scripture Union and the chaplaincy program that's throughout our schools in the Moreton Bay region. With me today, Janet Stebbin, District Coordinator for Scripture Union, and one of our chappies, Julie Hose from Morayfield State School. Good morning, ladies.
Hi, Scott.
Let's start with you, Janet. Tell us a bit of history about the chaplaincy program and how Scripture Union has evolved.
Okay, Scripture Union's been in place for, I think, over 85 years globally, but here in southeast Queensland we've had chaplaincy begin about 25 years ago in Queensland, and then specifically in Caboolture. Back around 1990 we had our first chaplain at Caboolture High School, and it's grown from there.
Okay, and for our local area, we're now into each year you do a fundraising event, a breakfast, to support the chaplaincy program. We're in our 14th year of doing that.
That's right. This is our 14th year of the annual breakfast, which is really exciting. We've had a great partnership with local council and community people and business people with that breakfast, which has been an excellent support for chaplaincy on the ground. Began supporting, I think, 6 chaplains back in 1990 when it began, and now supporting 26 chaplains around the area.
Okay,
yeah.
26 chaplains in our local schools in the wider Caboolture region. Janet, that breakfast that you host, you invite the business community, school community, but you also, it's a volunteering effort as well. Tell us about how the breakfast comes about.
It is. There are many people that come and volunteer their time. They give in kind, people picking up items for the breakfast to contribute to the catering. We've had in recent years, Hog's Breath have been wonderful and donated their time. Their staff have come and done it free. We've had, over the years, we've had students from a high school come and serve breakfast, so it's changed over the year, but yeah, many supportive businesses, which we're really grateful for.
Julie, what's a typical day in the life of a chappie?
I ask myself that sometimes, but I'll give you an example. So you might see me down at the local bakery picking up bread on a morning about 7:30, and then I go off down to school with a team of people from a local church, and we cook up a storm for some children, probably about 60 children that otherwise wouldn't have had such a good start to the day. We tidy up and then the day starts, and I typically would see probably 2 or 3 parents a day wanting to talk about life and issues and family, that sort of thing. And then lunchtime rolls around and I run art and craft in my room. And so my room, the bell goes and my room fills up with children, and we've got older children now who are helping being leaders in that room, and they help with the younger ones. And then throughout the day I try and have pastoral care conversations with children who need support or teachers who need support, and the day just rolls along, and all sorts of things will come left field, but that's sort of a typical day for me in chaplaincy.
And in that role of providing that support, in my day when I went to school, it was a while ago now, we had like a guidance counsellor.
Yeah.
Are the chappies replacing that position, or is this an added position?
Absolutely not. We guidance officers are incredible people, and they're highly trained, and they deal with the really high-end stuff. I actually see myself as a bit of a support for our guidance officer, and I deal with the other end. Kids that just need some love and care and encouragement, or a uniform or a sandwich made for lunchtime, and just my room is a soft place to land. And if I ever feel that a child needs that extra support, or if it's flagged to me they do, I refer them straight on to our guidance officer. We work as a team in our school and communicate really well.
Well said. Now, if you don't mind, Janet, we're going to keep talking to Julie just at the moment. I want to share with the viewers a real life scenario. We won't mention names due to privacy, but can you run us through a recent scenario that you've assisted in the role of a chaplain?
Look, I have a family that I'm really proud of, and I have watched Mum. It's a recent story, but it's been an ongoing story, and I've watched Mum come out of domestic violence, out of poverty, out of no real formal education. And we've had a community cuppa where myself and other ladies in the community would support these women and just build friendships. And this young lady went out and she got herself some qualifications, and she moved out of a really difficult family situation. She was homeless for a time. She has her own home. She has a good rental history. Her kids are doing really well. And that's been walking with that family over a space of probably about 4 or 5 years. And even when she was studying, she was like, I can't do it. And we'd sit her down and go, look, what's the question? What would you say to that? And we even helped her to articulate it, not give her the answers, but we helped her through. And she says to me now, I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it without you and the support that you brought to the school. And she's working, she's getting her first tax refund this year, and her little girl is coming on camp. She's actually can afford to pay for that now.
Great story and a success story for the work that you're doing. You mentioned the camp. Each year there's a camp for students to get away with some guidance. How does that work?
Oh, it's fabulous. I direct Mapleton-Adventure Camp every year, and we take away up to 100 children and 30 to 40 leaders, and we, working with Scripture Union, we provide a safe, fun-filled holiday program, and we take kids away and we bring them back, and teachers go, what did you do to that kid? And we just loved them and had a ball, and it's wonderful.
Big heart, Julie, one of our chappies at Morayfield State School. Thanks for those comments. Janet, let's come back to you. Obviously, through Scripture Union, you're a district coordinator. What does your role involve? Are you checking on the chappies each day? Or?
Yeah, I think not so much checking, but just supporting the chappies. The chappies that we have in Caboolture District really are great people, such as Julie. They put their heart and soul into it. Each one of them is just a caring individual, and in some ways they're nothing special because they're just like you and I. They're a listening ear, a caring presence, but then in other ways I think they're super special. The fact that they do that day in, day out. And Julie has been in at the game about 8 years, and it certainly does take its toll as you go on year after year. So my role is to support them, that's number one. It's also to connect with principals and line managers in schools. It's to connect when new schools are opening up. So here in Caboolture Morayfield, we've got several new schools over the next few years, so we're liaising with new principals and looking at getting chaplaincy in those schools as well. It's the wider networking, supporting directors of camps and helping in the preparation of that. It's a few committees thrown in there, local chaplaincy committees, so again, networking with community people who are investing their time in supporting the chaplaincy service.
Okay, excellent. Janet, let's go on to this year's annual fundraiser, the breakfast, hosted here where we're standing at the moment, the Morayfield Community Centre, just behind Bunnings at Morayfield. Give us a rundown of the breakfast and what to expect. Okay,
the breakfast this year is going to be rather special. We're celebrating our partnership with Council for the last 14 years and making this our final breakfast. The reason for that is that the funds haven't been quite covering what we would have hoped because we began with far less chaplains than we have now. So what we're doing at this year's is it's going to be a celebration. I'm excited. We're inviting back the first ever chaplain from Caboolture State High School and having him come. We're having Joy Leishman, who was our former mayor who began the breakfast in 2000, so she will come and have some reflections. We're wanting to gather all those wonderful businesses, past and present, who have supported us and say, come with us and celebrate this year. Come and be in the room. Let's celebrate what we have as a community have achieved. And then what we're going to do is we're not having a guest speaker this year because we're launching our vision for the future. Where do we go from here, 2015 and beyond? And so I'm excited about that and hope that everyone will turn out in force to join us for that. All right,
it does sound exciting. Maybe a new strategy, a new approach as we do live in a modern world now. Thursday the 9th of October,
that's the day.
Usually about 6 o'clock.
6:30.
6:30. I know this because for about 10 years I was here at 5 o'clock flipping sausages, but and our family's been very proud to be involved with the chaplaincy program over the years. We were both at a commerce dinner last night, and you mentioned Joy Leishman, our former mayor of the Caboolture Shire region. She did pay you quite a compliment, and a compliment to the business community of Caboolture of how supportive they have been. So I truly wish that continues into the future. Julie, is there something more you'd like to add today in support of your fellow chaplains around the area? Do you guys get together and have a meeting each month, or do you associate with each other and see what's happening in each little school? Or?
We're actually great friends in this area, and they're such a good bunch. So we support one another a lot. We text one another. We like coffee, so we get together and have coffee, and we just got away at our annual conference and just had a great time sharing our stories, encouraging one another, and getting ready to come back and do the rest of the term together. Yeah.
For parents and even kids, if they're watching this program, what would you say to encourage them to maybe approach their school chaplain?
Oh, look, I'd say do it. we're real people. We have families and even our own issues and our own struggles, and we get it. And we're just there to support them and to help them in any way we can without judgment, and just to be a practical support.
Okay.
Yeah,
sounds good. Jenna, your final comments. I probably wanted to raise a last question. Scripture Union, it is a Christian-based religion, and pardon me for being a bit naive, but can you explain Scripture Union's involvement? And I want to press very diligently that a counsellor or a chaplain isn't there to teach religion at the school.
Absolutely.
They're there to be in a support role. Can you elaborate on that to finish our story?
Sure. Look, the role of Scripture Union is to be the employing body for placing chaplains. So yes, the chaplains at Scripture Union employ are Christian people. So we come from a Christian faith, but in no way do we push that. That is our base from which we operate. But we're there to support people of every faith, every religion. We're there to support people whether they want to know about religion or not. We don't teach any religious instruction. In fact, we are not permitted to. So any religious instruction that is done in school is done by people other than the chaplain. And we are there. I would summarise that chaplains are there to do the journey of life. Mm-hmm. And as Julie said, we're real people with real issues ourselves, and we're just there to get beside people, do the journey, and have the coffees and have the conversations along the way, and in that way offer the support that people just are crying out for.
Yeah, you've answered that absolutely spot on. It's what I was looking for to put across to the wider community, that you're not teaching religion, you're teaching life skills, and you're supporting and you're counselling. So, ladies, I take my hat off to you. Julie, you're on the coalface. You're doing it. Well done, and to your fellow chappies, now 26 of them in the Caboolture region. Jeanette, thank you for your time. I always think about a last-minute question. Here's another last-minute question. There's also a fun run coming up in Caboolture. It's a fundraiser that the Rotary Club of Caboolture gets behind in their way of supporting the chaplains. Do you know details on that?
Yes, the fun run that the Rotary are putting on is Sunday the 31st of August down at Centenary Lakes, and I think 6:30 might be the magic time there as well. Yeah. And so we'd love to have you there if you want to come, and you can sign up online.
All right, lovely. The ladies from Scripture Union Queensland, the chaplaincy program in schools around our wider Caboolture region. My pleasure to interview you, and thank you for sharing that information. Look on the video for more details. We'll have some links there of how you can attend the breakfast and support the great work these ladies are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.